What's up, Jay?
What's up, dude?
How you been?
Good. I was like, I only see half. I only see him from your eyes up, and I'm like, who's this dude? Oh no, he's back.
Oh no. Oh, yeah, my camera's messed up on here. I might have to try to switch it.
I gotta go live on Facebook too. So.
Go ahead.
All right. So another week has gone by. Oh man, I woke up last night in the middle of the night like I had this flu. I was sweating and
right.
I don't know what was going on, but I woke up this morning and I was drenched, literally. So I didn't feel good all week long. Plus I sprained my ankle. So I don't know. I had a lot going on this week. But
how'd you do that, on the bike?
I didn't do it on the bike. Actually, you would think I would do it on the bike, but I didn't do it on the motorcycle. I did it just walking. So I had surgery. Long story short, I'm compensating for one leg,
right,
to help the other, and that's what the doctor said. Long story short, I got an ankle bracelet. I'm fixed up. I'm good to go.
There you go.
So, all right, there's a lot of people on the webinar, and Facebook will start to fill up slowly but surely. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over mortgage protection. Rob, I assume you're going back out in the field, right?
Yeah, that's I'm trying to get myself tuned back up. That's why I'm here. And we'll talk about that later.
All right, good. So if you have any questions along the route, please don't hesitate to ask. And that's the only way you can really learn, is if I can't read what's in your mind or what your questions are, so ask along the way. And please, everybody on the webinar, mute out. And Facebook, if you have any questions, just put it in that comment section. So what we're going to study today is MP and annuity, two of my favorite subjects. Why are they my favorite subjects? Because they make that. And they make it in a big way. But you can't get to that, I want to start here, you can't get to that through these without what? What does everybody need in their business, their life insurance agency, or their home-based life insurance business to make these big numbers? Does anybody know the answer to that? What do you need besides education, product knowledge, a good attitude? You need leads. So why not get into place first, right? Why not have leads and resources that allow you to be the first person in the home? And in some cases, the only rep that sees these individuals. So if you're the only rep that's seeing these individuals, these prospects they're called before they're called clients, there should be no ifs, ands, or buts whether they filled the form out, they answered the call. You just have to share the information from this point. And if you share it smartly, you can get people invested into these products. Why? One, they probably need it. If the one point they were thinking about it, you never know what state of mind that they were in on the phone or when they were filling the card out. But if you were there at that moment, you'd have a better chance at the sale, but you're not. So you have to figure a way out through a time-lapse period of time that goes by, like for the telephone tele-leads for final expense, those are 24 hours old. They tell you they are anyway, 9 times out of 10. Now for the mortgage protection leads, they could be a week out. You never know when a person filled out the card, but the goal is to get them information. So while you're on the phone, remember, don't be nervous to make the dials. The individuals asked for that they asked you to get them information is what they asked for. So if you're nervous over the phone, don't be. Just make your dials, and if you don't have a good script, I have one of the simplest scripts out. I mean, you can do it in 15 seconds. It's real simple. Hello, Mrs. Jones. I'm doing a follow-up call to the call that you had received yesterday about that final expense information. I'm the rep that handles that area. Will you and Mr. Jones be in that area tomorrow or at your home tomorrow at 2 p.m.? And that's basically it. It helps you get through a lot more dials faster than these 4-page scripts I see. So long story short, shrink your scripts up. If you don't have a script, I have one. I have them printed out, and I can send them over to you. Mortgage protection is a unique style of life insurance sale, it really takes some know-how sometimes to get the larger sales, but to get the simple sales, to get people to give you $100, $50, even I'll really give you some $200 is not that difficult. This is kind of like tiering to the higher end of the spectrum when it comes to getting the monthly premiums, but this is definitely doable for everybody. So how do you do it? What would you use? That's the question I think a lot of people fumble around with is, what do I do? How do I get there? What am I supposed to say? What do I do in the house? How am I supposed to teach these individuals why they need mortgage protection? If you remember something, and this is important to your future, remember this, is that if you just learn to buy people time, you'll always make a sale. Well, you should. You get closer to making a sale anyway. If you remember the word time, what am I doing in here? I want to buy people time. Time for what? Well, time for a lot of things. Time, one, to sell the home. In mortgage protection, a lot of you may be thinking that you're going in to cover the entire house in case Mr. Jones passes away. And please, if you can do that, do that. But if you want a simpler way, all you need to do is teach them how to sell the house. Why do you teach them how to sell the house? Or teach them that this money is put in place to sell the home and pay for bills when he's no longer around? Well, again, we'll wrap back to a couple things that happen during the death of an individual. The breadwinner, okay? The breadwinner's gone. Now, out of the two of them, I say in the home, out of the two of you, who earns the two of the higher Social Securities? And Mr. Jones usually does. Let's say he's got, let's give him for this illustration, we'll give him $3,000 a month in Social Security benefits coming in. And Mrs. Jones has $1,000 a month coming in. As soon as he dies, you make them aware that she does not receive this $3,000. By the way, this individual has to be age 60 to receive these benefits. So if you weren't aware that this person has to be age 60 to receive the Social Security benefits. But let's say that this individual is 65, and we'll do a younger couple too, that this individual is 65. They both got Social Security coming in. That's one of the questions you ask is, out of the two of you, who earns the two of the higher Social Securities? Reason I'm asking is because Mr. Jones, when you're taken out, Mrs. Jones has 6 months to 12 months to wait for this $3,000. So she has to wait 6 to 12 months to get that $3,000. Now, if you know from the beginning, one of the first questions you should ask is, how much is the total owed? Now, on your cards, on your leads, it should tell you what's owed on the home. So, let's say there's $200,000 owed on the house. How much is that for monthly? How much you pay monthly on the mortgage? Let's say it's $1,000 a month. So 30 years, right? 30 years, okay. So you got $1,000 a month for the next 30 years. I don't know if my math is right, but $200,000 debt. This is why you're asking, is because can Mrs. Jones keep paying with her $1,000 monthly income, and his $3,000 is gone now? Can she continue to pay that $1,000 plus all the other bills that are listed on everybody, all of our lists? We have bills. Just know your own bills, and you'll know what people are paying out there, and sometimes a lot more. So on average, you got a household at least spending anywhere from $2,000 on average to $4,000 a month in bills. Just remember that, and you'll know once you see these numbers. So long story short, you take this out, you tell Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you got 6 to 12 months to wait, Mrs. Jones, you're going to lose this house. So what do? I know, Mrs. Jones, you'd like to stay in the home, but the 9 times out of 10, I'm sorry to tell you, these days, due to this income situation, you may not be able to. However, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, are you going to be leaving Mrs. Jones anything else? Is there anything else you're going to be leaving behind? Like a 401k or a 403b or stock-based products? Things like that. And this is where people open up to the retirement savings, okay? So you have the, let's say it's a 401k. Well, now I know that the 401k is there. At this moment, I want to ask them at this point, he's here to take care of her. So he understands what I'm trying to do. It's a math problem now. So mathematically, Mr. Jones, what will she receive from that? Due to death benefit, what's she going to receive from this 401k? And that's a little later than asking somebody how much is in your 401k. So at this point, it's about helping Mrs. Jones. So how much is she going to receive out of that 401k? There's $100K. So she has $100,000. Now, in this situation, I want to do two ones. I want to do one without this retirement and one with. So this one's not going to have one in it. So all she has is $1,000 to live on. You have to buy her time. And remember, this drawing that I'm doing right here is something that I will draw in front of them. I literally want them to see this, guys. You've got to have paper in front of you. Pen, paper, clipboard, pen, paper, clipboard, okay? Keep it moving and illustrate this stuff through paintings. I call them paintings. So look, 9 times out of 10, what you want to buy is 1, 2. This is 1 year, 2 years. 1 to 2 years of time for Mrs. Jones to get what out of the house? What is she trying to get? Anybody know what she's trying to get? Why she's trying to sell the house? What purpose would she have to sell the house? It's for the equity in the home, okay? So the biggest word you can write down for you to remember is the word equity. Equity is why individuals will sell the home, is for that word so they can walk away with a retirement plan. Now, it doesn't mean Mr. Jones is going to die tomorrow. If he dies you could show them the math. So I'm going to show you how to show people the math on this. I'm going to show you how to show them the math in the equity. First question is, did you put any money down on this home? Now, this could also be a refinance too, so be aware of that. But if it's a new home, you can justify this by showing them the equity over the years. I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is an important math problem to have in your arsenal, okay? So when you have $1,000 times 12 equals $12,000 a year. Now this is just getting people close. This is just an idea, guys. This isn't exact numbers, okay? You got 12,000. Now let's do a timeline. Here's year 1. Here's year 10. So at year 10, Mr. Jones will be 75. They'll both be 75 years of age. You got 10 years invested. They got $120,000. You got to take this and multiply this by 10. So you got $1,000 a month in mortgage payments through 12 months equals $12,000 times 10 years equals $120,000. Divide that by 2, and that's close to about what the equity will be in that time period. Now, with inflation, this could be, good money or interest earned on the home. This could be $80,000. Could be $100,000. Depends on the area that they live. It could be 60. It could be less too. So at the end of the day, what we're trying to show them, Mrs. Jones, this is what you're going to walk away with. Now, if we double that, we got 20 years. We got let's say it's $180,000. So $180,000 in 20 years. What is he? He is 85 years of age. What's owed on the home? How much? Now, this is the back end. This is selling off the back end of the home. This is what's left on the house. At this point, this is what they have into it. This is equity, possibility of equity. There's still about 100. Well, how much is owed on it? Maybe there's $50,000 owed on the home. I don't know until I do more math. So just do the difference between 20 years and what's owed on the home with 20,000. Long story short is that this particular home may have $50,000 owed on it. That may be the policy that you write. The two things that $50,000 does is this. One, it buys enough time to sell the house without involving them in their inheritance, which is the retirement plan that somebody could leave behind. In this case, there isn't one. Number 2, it can pay off the back end of the home. So if God forbid he dies at that point, pays off the back end of the house, what's left over on the home. But most importantly, it pays the upfront. Somebody living to age 85 today there's a good cause for it. They really do. People are staying alive longer. So you have to adjust this to maybe people living to 95, maybe 100. So it's just the way it is. But remember this math problem and use this. Show them the numbers. I can't repeat it enough about showing these people their numbers. Are you going to buy anything? Would you buy a car if you didn't see all the numbers? You didn't know all the numbers. You didn't know all the numbers to the house you lived in. You want to know the numbers. So show them the numbers and get the sale. You show them it fits in their budget. At the end of this sale, I could easily cut into this right now, make this sale fast. I could say, hey, Mr. Jones, I know you two together have $4,000 a month coming in. I know your bills are about $2,000 a month. That leaves about $2,000. I can give you $1,000 to play with every month. You know, that's like the best play month in the world, having $1,000 a month to blow. That leaves $1,000 a month. So if I were to tell you, Mr. Jones, could you live on $800 or even $600 a month, and all your bills are paid, you had play money, plus you still have $200 to $400 left over to do whatever you want with? Would this be something you'd be interested in? Yes. Okay, so I know that this is a $400 premium, and this is a $200 premium. So what you need to do is find out what's left over, guys. And if you make them comfortable with what's left over, that's what numbers they're gonna use to purchase. It's kind of like when you're selling final expense and you're putting $30, $50, and $100 down. You know that they're gonna pick the middle one, right? 9 times out of 10, well, for me, they picked the big one. Because why? Because I brought more to the table. I showed them more value is what I want to bring. So if you're not bringing more value, you're not going to get bigger numbers. So bring more value to the table, okay? So at the end of this round, you got that sale. Now let's do one with the 401k. This is a little adjustable because you can use the 401k to actually pay for the mortgage itself. You know, in 10 years, on an illustrated look and a look back, when you're illustrating annuities, you want to take the look back period. You want to look back in the history of what it's done. When I take a 10-year look back, and if I were to take somebody's $100K, $100,000, I know that today with a bonus, it'd be about $240,000 today. Between $200,000 and $240,000. If I showed them the past 10 years, the performance in the past 10 years, this is what it would look like. Now, some companies you can show 20, 30 years. This is what you're doing the illustrations based upon, is just illustrating, showing somebody what their money can do due to this, and not being volatile to the market, no downsides to the market, okay? You're protecting them from this and fees, brokerage fees, broker fees, things like this, that incorporated in 1, 2, 3% monthly, annually, whatever the hell they want to charge it, and it's coming out of their interest earnings. So if you could show somebody an 8% return, guys, and you could show it has worked in the past, that's basically all you're doing to show illustrations for annuities. You take somebody's $100,000, you show on paper, this $100,000 plus a 10% bonus, so $110,000 you'll start at, Mr. Jones. It's tax deferred, so when we move it, you can move it deferred. You don't have to pay any taxes. There's no penalties, there's no fees, there's no charges, there's no downside market volatility, there's only upside potential. All you'll ever participate in is the upside of the market. You'll never participate in the downsides of the market, okay? Worst case scenario is you come up here, you're at $150,000, we go into World War III, you stay right there. It's your worst case scenario. You can't lose any money. You just can't lose. That's the product. You don't lose any money. So at the end of the day, I want to take this over a 10-year period. I want to show them let's say $220,000. Mr. Jones, look at the illustration. The company's showing you in the past 10 years, if you were with them, they're showing you this, the company's showing you this, that you'd be at $220,000 today. Lucky you, huh? Now what we need to do is we need to protect that money. Here's the other flip side of this. This annuity now becomes the new mortgage protection. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can get the product paid for on the interest earned from the annuity, or number 2, you can get the annuity just to pay for the house itself. So in 10 years, they got $100,000 paid into the house. He dies. She has this $220,000 there. Now, the principle behind this is to protect the house, but this is not a guaranteed way. The mortgage protection is a better guarantee because it's life insurance. So remember that this is not a guaranteed way, but by a 20-year look back, I mean, it was almost is a guarantee. They've been through the worst times economically possible, and they're still earning high interest rates and still getting people double returns every 10 years. So it does make sense too. Believe me, it's a good strategy to sell mortgage protection is using annuities. So, you know, and it's no cost out of pocket. The reason I would use something like this is if somebody's battling me against the cost. Maybe they're older, maybe they're sick, maybe it's a graded product. They don't like the way it looks. So here's an answer. I can get you this over time. This will build. So how about this? In 20 years from now, this would be $440,000. So if you make it to age 85, Mr. Jones, your wife will not only have the house paid off, but she'll have all the money she ever needs to live on. This is their answer. There is no other answer for them. They have $100,000 to live on. It's not going anywhere in a 401k. If it does anything, it's going to demise. They're going to outrun their money, and they're going to have fees, and they're going to have downside market potentials, and they're going to lose every dime, and you didn't do your job right. So if you're not convincing people to do this, you're hurting them. Okay, you need to do your job, and it's lay everything out on the table. All right, it's not just go in and let's sell some mortgage protection. As a professional, you are licensed to do multiple things, and you should be using all those licenses. Going to a doctor, I don't see him just for a cold. I had a sprained ankle this week. He's licensed to also see me for that sprained ankle, the cold, and some bug bite I had on my hand. So he's versatile. He can do it all, and you need to be the same. You need to study up on your products and learn what they do and learn the benefits of living benefits and things like that to bring value to the table to these people. That's right, Lawrence. The answer was equity. Robert, good job answering that question. Okay, look, here, check this out. So let's do another one. Let's do some young people. Same strategy. You're doing mortgage protection, okay? You got young people. Go into the home. You want to lay this out. I'm going to do this. This is another piece of paper, okay? Everything I've drawn out is always sheets of paper. I'm putting them aside for later so I can go back through my notes and find out what people were doing, what I talked about in the past with these people. Meaning, like, if I go through and I know that they have a monthly income and I'm like 30 minutes into the sale and I don't remember what the monthly income is, I can go back in my notes and check. It really helps you design the need. That's the word you need to create, is the need. Don't ask them what their need is. You can know what their need is, but it's not the real need because you're the pro. You're inventing the need. What is the need? The need is to pay the house off. The need is to get the college funds taken care of. The need is not to lose the house. The need is to keep Mrs. Jones in the home until she can sell the house. The need is to pay the back end of the home off. The need is anything that you create. But they don't know the real need because they don't know all the options that you do for them. So you got here. Let's put Tony here. Let's put Dana here. Let's say they're 40 years of age. This is a little different. They don't have it. They don't have Social Security. You might have Social Security disability, so be careful. You might ask. You both working? Yes. Know that. What's owed on the home? We got about $300,000 owed on the house. How much is the monthly? Just for my math, I'm going to keep the numbers even so you can multiply that by 12 and show them the equity timeline. Remember the equity timeline, guys, and if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, ask me. Don't go through this without knowing, okay? So you got the $300,000, you got the $100,000 a month. This is the monthly payment on the mortgage. This is the total. 30 years. For 30 years, it can be wrapped up in this. What's the job? The job is to protect Dana from the worst case scenario, which is his demise. That means two things. He can't work anymore, he can't bring an income in, or he's dead. So you got to be careful. You got to devise this to do both. Whether you use term, index, universal life, or you have to use a graded product, get the numbers right. What is Dana? First question I want to ask, hey Dana, listen, I know you love this house and Tony and you are starting a new life together and everything, but would you stay here if Tony was no longer here? Now, a $300,000 house can be a big home for an individual. Do they have children? You know, that's going to, twists and turns are going to come your way, guys, and you need to learn how to pivot. So at the end of the day, Dana, would you stay in this home if he was no longer here? And I'm going to be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, a lot of people say no, at least in the state of Florida. It might be different up north. Up north, they usually stay in the home. That's where they're going to live for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years, okay? So be careful on this one. But look, if they're going to stay in the house, that's one thing. If they're going to leave in the house, if you know Dana's not going to live in the house, what are you to do? What is the need now? What should you put together for them so Dana can get out of this house, right? So she's going to sell the house. That's what you're going to train her to do. Train Tony to teach them how to sell the house. Oh, well, I thought this was to pay the house off. Well, we can do that. That's not a problem. You might get that thrown at you. Well, I thought we were going to pay the house off. Well, yeah, we're going to take a look at that option, but like I told you, I want you to see all your options. Today, I want you to understand all your options, okay? You guys got a lot of years left on this earth, and this is one of the things that adults should learn is how to have mortgage protection on the biggest investment that they'll ever have in their life, which is their house. You got car insurance, right? You got health insurance? Well, now you need mortgage insurance, all right? Not the kind that covers the house if the car runs through the door. The kind that covers the house that can't pay the payments. So long story short, if we're going to pay, the timeline would be 1 to 2 years again. Why 2 years? A lot of homes may be able to sell in a year. Some homes take 2 years. Market volatility, bad market design, poor market situations. 2008 hit, you wouldn't sell a house. You know, you'd sell a house to a crook, or you wouldn't sell a house for the real equity inside it. Long story short, you need to protect Dana properly. She's only 40 years old. By the time she's paid this home off, she'll be 70 years of age, and the equity will be over $300,000. We have a $400,000 home they live in. So what we're going to do here in this case is to get Dana to understand those two items. One, we're going to pay the house off. Two, we're going to buy time to sell. Remember, sell. If you remember this part of the mortgage protection puzzle, it'll be very easy for you to go in and make sales from this point on as mortgage protection specialist. You can even do mortgage protection on final expense, guys. Remember that final expense leads also have mortgages. So if you train them to pay, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, guess what? I don't just do burial coverage. I also do mortgage protection. So I might want to take a look at this instead and cover your burial and your mortgage. Because Mrs. Jones, I want to know, would you be able to afford to live here if Mr. Jones no longer was here? And that's something we're going to find out. Don't ask them the question, find out the answer. So don't sit there and say, hey, Mrs. Jones, can you afford to stay here if Mr. Jones isn't here anymore? And she's probably going to say yes. You know what I mean? She doesn't know. She's not even taking into consideration inflation. So you need to figure that answer out after you ask. See, that's what we're here to do, is figure the answers out to this. All right? Don't let them guess. All right, move on. So we got this home. We're going to pay off the house. All you need to do is figure out, obviously, what the lowest premium would be for $300,000. And you have options, guys. You could use a term product. Very simple to use a term product in their case and get what is ROP. So everybody better know this. ROP, that's an option, okay? It's a little more costly than the normal term product. But it's not too bad when you're getting all your money back. What is this considered? This is a savings account. Guess what? Here's what else you need to teach them. Look, in 20 years, if I add all this money up, let's say you're putting $300 a month away into this thing, and that's $3,600 a year. That's $72,000 over 20 years. In 20 years, you'll have enough to pay the back end of the house off. You'll literally be able to pay this house off early while you're protecting your wife, Tony, from the worst day of her life. But here's the catcher too. It comes with living benefits. So if God forbid you were to have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, end-stage renal failure, get into a car accident, that this $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 is yours while you're alive. Now that's one way to do it, is the term ROP or just term. And then the other way is through indexing the products through Index Universal Life. And this is more of a way to, you have to teach them to overfund these things so they can stay with the cost of insurance. Now, if you do a product, you want to make sure that you get it to age 100 or at least age 90. You know, for Index Universal Life, you don't understand Index Universal Life, they're basically whole life with larger interest levels that are kind of slippery slopes when it comes to whether they're market-based or not, but we don't sell a market-based Index Universal Life. That's why the word index is in there. We only sell the index products. It's kind of like the indexed annuity, so it's indexed to the market. So it won't participate in the downsides, only participates in the upsides, and you need to know your product be smart about this to participate in it. So it means that you share with them the market earnings, but you need to know what the hell's going on, the choices that you have for these products. So what you can do, though, is ask the carrier. Ask them, what can I use? What's the highest interest earning index universal life out? I don't know, to be honest with you. They might change. We might have an answer for that, but I don't like to talk about carriers on here. So if you need that answer, text me, and I'll get you that answer. Long story short here is you have two options. One, you can go with the term. Why would you do the term? Well, you terms out. Here's the difference between the two. This one's going to end, okay? Now, they can re-it up, but it's going to probably be pretty expensive at 70 to re-up on this, you know? As long as they have that guarantee insurability at the end of this, you know, you need to know, can they get to just $10,000 or they need to keep the 300 grand? So they could get another policy in place just for the demise. The Index Universal Life product is where it's at because of longevity. If you teach them how to overfund this thing, they're going to have another retirement schedule put aside. And you, as life insurance sales reps, need retirement plans put aside too. You also can use this. Thank you, Lawrence. You also can use this particular product to retire on. So you invest into your own products, guys, and overfund this. Overfunding, what does that mean? That means putting in more than the premium to take advantage of the interest earned on the money. So when you take advantage of the interest earned, your cash bucket grows. You got another retirement schedule put aside. You can do a couple things at the end of this. You can index annuitize this. You can pay your house off with it. You can take monthly withdrawals from it. You can, you know, there's living benefits with it. There's a lot of great options here, guys. So the two options you have now, look, if they're busted up and their health isn't any good, you know, say their health isn't good, it happens. The third option is you do not be fear of graded products for mortgage protection. A lot of people have come to me and said, oh, can you do graded products for mortgage protection? Yes, you can. You need to. If that's the last option they have, that's all they have is graded product. You get it in place for them, okay? So don't worry about whether it's just graded or not. That's not your fault. You didn't do that to them, but what you can do is you can help them. In 2 years from this point, this thing will be whole and it'll be paid out as the death benefit shows. You know, great products, very, very, the least expensive one. If you need to know what the least expensive graded product is, text me again and I'll tell you what the answer is. So this one, probably no retirement schedule. Do they have a savings? Guys, if you're taking the youth, you can teach them how to retire. Now, if you have an illustration put aside, you need to do an illustration for Index Universal Lives too. You have to show the schedule, the history on what they're looking at from the past. Interest earnings over the years, if they were with the product before, this is kind of like what it would look like type deal, just like the indexed annuity, and show them their cash value bucket. Inside the indexed annuity is a portion where it has the cash value illustration, and you can open that sheet up and you can teach them about their interest earned on their cash value and show them why they should do this product and why it's interesting to them to cover the house. God forbid something happens to you, Tony. Dana has two options. She could sell the house, she can move, or she can stay in the house. Number 3 is you both retire, or number 4 is you both get the money while you're alive. Here's number 5. I want you guys to start teaching your prospects this because it brings more value. This is very important what I'm about to tell you. Very important to all products, okay? So listen up. Tony, Dana, I put a policy on Tony that's worth $300,000, okay? The payments, let's say the payments are $300 themselves. So this thing's earning major cash value, right? It's earning some serious dough inside here. Let's say 15 years goes by. There's 36,000. Let's say it's got $50,000 in cash value. Here's the good side of this, Tony, too. Not that it's that good, but God forbid if anything happens to Dana. Let's say it's 15 years down the line and Dana passes away. You don't need this product in place anymore. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you leave it to a child. Here's the bottom line is you can walk away with the cash value. Okay? This is bringing more value to this product now. Oh, wait. So if, God forbid, this isn't just one-sided. So if if I die, let me get this straight. If I die, Dana receives the 300 grand, right? Yes, that's correct. If she dies, I get all the cash that's inside it. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. So teaching people that all policies are two policies in one over time is a great way to bring value to the table, okay? Remember to bring value. God, I'm doing this a little sick today, but this is good stuff, huh? It's pretty good. I'm feeling it. I'm digging it. I'm even going to use this stuff this week. It's that good, I'm going to use it this week. What do you think about them? How do you like them apples? So let's get on to some questions. You guys have any questions midway through this thing? Anybody have any questions? Everybody without questions is going to earn 10, 20 grand this week, right? Remember, this is the time, man. I know it's kind of confusing, but if a question pops up along our journey together during this hour session, remember, just ask me, okay? Type it in on Facebook or open the mic up on the webinar, okay? And please ask. Okay, so you have the differences between the term and the index universal life. You got the annuity, and you have the graded, or even final expense. Worst case scenario, you do final expense to graded, FE to graded. So this can be your chart. You can know that all four of these are good for mortgage protection. Just so you're aware of that. All right? All four of those are good for mortgage protection. How often do you train like this? Lawrence, I train like this 2 times a week, buddy. And I can get you the YouTube page, which has a lot of, has I think 100 videos on it, just like this too. Long story short, guys, this is how you can use it. Index universal life, you got the term, you got final expense graded, and you have annuities. All sell the timeline, 1 to 2 years. For what? To sell the home. Most case scenarios is that this is what the scenario will end up being, is the time that you bought Mrs. Jones to sell the house. Okay, there's no way that she can afford to live in the home. So by mathematics, if you teach them the math, they just can't stay. Let's do it for instance. Let's do a quick illustration here. I don't know which one you guys run into more. Do you run into 50 and above or 50 and below in ages? Can somebody tell me that? In your area, and then, you know, because that's an important part of the process. What ages do you run in more? 50 and above or 50 and below? I think in the state of Florida, it's 50 and above. I'd say up north, it could probably be younger. And if it is, here's the differences, is that whether this person's 40 years of age or 60 years of age, okay? The difference would be, I would use an index universal life here or a term ROP to know the difference. 60 and above, the retirement schedule type age, I would use same thing, the IUL, get it to death, or the annuity, or both. So my job inside the house when I key in on what I'm doing is like, you know, 60 and below. I might do this situation here because the ROP only goes to a certain age. I think I don't know if it even goes to 50. I can't remember. Long story short, you can't get the ROP to a certain age though. So what you need to know this, and my mind's slipping a little bit, but I don't know what age it goes to, the return of premium, what the highest age it goes to. Long story short, I don't know that right now, but I do know that there's interest earned on cash value. You could show people returns on an illustration through cash value earnings on index universal lives. They're very simple products. They come with many of them come with the same benefits as the term products, some more, some less. The longevity of this thing is based upon its lifeline, which is you, or the client funding it. The bread and butter of it is done through the premium payments monthly, and then the interest earned on those premium payments to get the cash value high enough that it deflects cost of insurance later on. Because cost of insurance is something we can't stop. It is inflation on insurance. And all products have it. Now, good thing about flip side to this. Here's where you get big premiums out of people. 50 in Ohio for ROP. Okay, good. So it's about 50 years of age for ROP. So just remember that in your notes. 50 years of age to ROP, and then it's hard to tell somebody to the face, hey, listen, you're renting this product. You got to die by age 80 to get the money. If not, you shovel $36,000 into a product that you'll never, use. Now, if you're just about making sales, go ahead and sell the term with no ROP. But if you're about helping people and doing the true job, you can teach them how to invest this money and earn money off of it and make an inheritance out of it when they turn 80, which they will need. They don't need less money, guys. They need more money at age 80, okay? But the job is to cover the mortgage, so just do your job one way or the other. I don't want to confuse you too much. I just don't like return of premium not being on the policy or on the product. That's all I'm trying to say. I like return of premium term products. That's my opinion. So do it. Any policy is better than walking out the door with nothing on them. You walk out the door, he gets hit by a bus tomorrow. You could have had the house paid off for her, and that's dumb. Okay, so make sure that you do it right. With this illustration here, we talk about the annuities. A lot of people want to sell. I have 7 pending. That means 7 are going through the system right now. I did, I don't know, 12 to 14. There's 2 more. That would make 14. That's not to brag. That's to show you that annuities are there. They're in these homes, okay? Due to these leads that you may be afraid to invest into. That's the very first thing we got to get off the table is your fear to invest into these products. You are a business owner. Start acting like it and invest, guys. Please, listen to me. Invest into your product, okay, or your business, all right? And get yourself into the homes. You'll make your money back. Your goal. Trust me, you'll get your money back. Don't worry about that. But I know it's hard out there when you're nickel and diamond and you got your last 500 and you're depending on 10 leads to pull you through. So it might be another avenue we want to discuss than just ordering 10 leads. You don't want to depend on just 10 leads for your entire future. So when people get you into this industry, they should tell you that it does take money to make money here. It's hard to do without it. Okay, continuing. Annuity sales. Where are they found? How do you find an annuity? Where can you find an annuity at? Well, you can find it in final expense sales, SIPPs. You can find it in mortgage protection, SIPPs. We use an MP lead. Mortgage protection SIPP. And it is called a SIPP. When I go in and I find out the situation, which is this, how much do you owe on a house? $300,000. How much is the monthly on that? $1,000. How many years? 30 years. The only reason I'm bringing up the years is because I want to know the timeline. I want to stretch this thing out and show them what? I want to show the equity timeline. I need you guys to get used to showing this. So let's take a look at 10 years, 20 years, and here's 30. This is your equity timeline and show the age that they will be at the time of this. I don't know. It's this one we could do. You want to do a younger couple. I'm going to do an older couple first again. Just make them 65. That way they have Social Security coming in as their income. And you can ask that. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, out of the 2 of you, who earns the 2 of the higher Social Security incomes, right? You're on Social Security. Who has the higher of the 2? And that's a simple question because they can just say like this. They can just like raise their hand. And that's not getting involved inside their business, not asking them exactly what's inside it. At the time of death, besides the face amount being paid out, will the beneficiary get the cash value as well if there is any built up? No, they only get one or the other, so they don't get both, if that's the question. At the time of death, besides the face amount being paid out, will the beneficiary get the cash value? So it's either or. Cash value just holds that thing in place. It's either or. So that's a good question, though. So what we're going to do, out of the two of you, who earns the two of the higher Social Security incomes? If they don't know why, tell them. The reason I'm asking is because Mr. and Mrs. Jones, do you realize that it's taking 6 to 12 months for Mrs. Jones for you to receive this? Now, hypothetically, if you're living on $1,000 a month and your mortgage we know is $1,000, you're not going to be able to survive this past 6 months. You know, you're going to have some trouble. So what we want to know is what you have in place. All right, so you have $1,000. Mr. Jones, you have $2,000? Yes. We have a 401k? Yes. Okay, great. Now here's what I want to get to is the illustration that I want to show you has life insurance in it. This is interesting because this is where you can make some big time numbers. If I take these illustrations and I put them on a table and I have one term product, how about the one I just did had like 8 policies? I showed the premium was $500 a month. They were paying $668 a month for like 20 years, but they had all term products and 2 index or universal life products, which the cost of insurance was about to chew it away. They had 2 years left on that. They had 7 years left on the term products. So instead of convincing her that she was getting $300,000 from him, I convinced her to get $75,000 at $500 a month, guaranteed, okay? Plus take $15,400 plus cash value from the index universal lives that we canceled out, making this 20-something thousand and making this an annuity. So I sold. That was sold for $500 a month, and that was sold from cash value. So long story short, term. What does that mean? That means putting all the premiums together in one big bucket for one big policy and knowing why. Why would you get rid of a term product that only has 7 years on it? Pretty simple. You know, are they, Mr. Jones, are you going to die within the next 7 years? Well, we don't know that answer, of course, but by health standards, will you die in the next 7 years? And I want to add in that you should show them that what they are going to invest into this for the next 7 years. So if we take $668 per month times 12, does anybody have any idea what they're spending a year? Does anybody have a calculator? 668 times 12 times 7. That would be times the 7 years that they have. And the reason you want to show them that is sticker shock. You show them $668 times 12 and that they walk away with nothing. You can also show them the investment that they've had over the last 20 years and really make them want to puke. You know what I'm saying? What's 500? 6,000. About 72. I don't know. $8,000 a year or something. 8,000 times 7. $56,000. $56,000 in 7 years they'll spend. Would you spend $56,000 on something that's not guaranteed to be there? Now, if you just answer that yourself, you know the answer to what they're going to say. So the guarantee situation here is to put a guaranteed situation in that's less than what they're used to receiving. She's not getting 300 grand, but here's the cool part of the puzzle. You were never getting 300 grand anyway, Mrs. Jones. Mr. Jones going to outlive this. So the great part about it is we got $75,000 here that's guaranteed to be there, okay? And Mrs. Jones, you have $10,000 on yourself to leave for him. Now here's the kicker. He won't, guess what? Here's this important for you guys to get. Mr. Jones is $10,000 that he'll receive when his wife dies, but if he doesn't need that product anymore, he'll get the cash value from inside the product, that 75 index universal life that goes to death. He'll get the cash value from inside that, he'll get $10,000 from this, and he'll get the $20,000 annuity that in 10 years will be $40,000. So I got her above 100 grand in 10 years. I got him about $60,000 in 10 years. So it's not too bad. See, it wasn't just the 10. You guys seen all he was getting was 10. It's not true. He's getting all the cash value invested into that index universal life. That's $500 a month. earning interest, okay, annually. That's a lot of bread inside there, all right? Earning interest. It's a big index universal life product. And the indexed annuity in 10 years. So he gets 60, 70 grand, she gets 110, 120, everybody's happy. But I didn't just tell them, look, all you receive is this face amount. Mr. Jones, all you're getting is 10 grand. No, that's not true. You're getting 10,000, plus you'll get that 40 grand, plus you'll get all the cash value built up in that policy. When she dies, you don't need that product anymore. You don't need the $75,000 because you're going to collect this 10, unless you want to leave it to the kids. So that's an interesting way to do this. Is using existing policies. Remember, you can take an annuity from an annuity. I've had 3 of the 12 annuities that I sold in the last 3 weeks were low interest earning annuities. 1.75 fixed. 2 of them were. Same company, in fact. 1.75 fixed. They've had these for like 30 years. I'm looking at this illustration saying, why are you not doubling your money? This just doesn't look right. And then when I show him the illustration from what I have for them, and here's another thing that people do. They will take an IRA with like $10,000 in it, 10, 20, 30 grand, and they'll have like $100,000 over here. So what you can do, sometimes you can cash these out. You can get a check. You can cash this out, put it in their bank account. You got 60 days to move the money for tax deferral reasons, and you can blend all this money together. Now you need to know what the difference between, oh my God, I'm just losing it. The guaranteed money and non-guaranteed, qualified, non-qualified. Money that blends together for annuity reasons. So learn what non-qualified is and qualified for indexed annuities. Qualified and non-qualified money. You need to learn that. It's important, all right, to blend the two together. But if you cash the checks in, it's kind of like a way that you can get them to invest the money as a whole. So I can take cash value from life insurance to make an annuity. I can take a savings account to make an annuity. I can take an IRA to make an annuity. I can take an annuity to make an annuity. You know how many annuities are variable annuities out there that are no good. Now, some of them are, some of them aren't. But 9 times out of 10, you don't want people. A variable annuity can participate in the downside of the market potentials. An indexed annuity only participates in the upsides. So when you see variable, you want to show them protection, downside protection. If you see low interest rates, if you see an annuity at all, hell, contact me and I'll fly in and do it with you, right? We'll split the money, man. You're going to make it, though. You're going to get that sale. All you need to do basically is do this. You need to put the illustration in front of you. $56,112 is what that man was going to spend in the next 7 years. Thank you, Lawrence, for being on top of it. Where else can you find annuity money? Anybody got any answers? Where else can you find annuity money? In the backyard, the coffee can? Maybe. You got to ask. I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't ask, you ain't never going to know. If you just stopped right where we ended, right there, you may not find it. So what I'm thinking I want you to do is know where you can find annuity money and make a list and hold it with you inside the house. So if you went through the savings account, the IRA, the annuities, and that was it, and life insurance, and that was it, you might not find it. Do you have a 401k? Believe me. Do you have any stock-based products whatsoever, Mr. and Mrs. Jones? Why are you asking this? Well, here's why. I'm going to show you something. When I work with my clients, and I'm going to give you a quick hypothetical. Like I told you, I want you to be well informed and know all your options. If I take somebody's stock-based product, and God forbid, before it dives in the market and they have the chance of losing 30%, I want to share the threat first. Okay, I'm scaring them a little bit. I lose them 30% of their savings account. And they don't have enough life to get it back. Then I can take their $200,000 and by visual proof, I could show them what the past 10 years would have done and beyond that too. And I could say to them, this would be $440,000 today. If you did my way and had no market volatility, no fees, taxation is less. You pay less in tax, you're going to pay on the seed, not the harvest. Teach them about the seed, not the harvest. So when people pull money out of their indexed annuity, you want to pull monthly draws out of it, and you pay taxes on the smaller end of the seed, not the harvest. Long story short is what you're going to do is get an illustration. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, do you have a printer? Do you have a computer I can use? I just need it for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to get you something I really think you need to take a look at, okay? And then you guys can sleep on it. Do I like those words? You could sleep on it. Sometimes not too much. Sometimes it gives them a way out. So I may just adjust that a little bit. I'm working on this, seeing if it works. Here's what I'm telling you to do is get them relaxed. Not think that this is a sales pitch. I'm telling, I'm not selling, all right? I'm here to inform you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, not sell you on anything. Okay, at the end of this, we can double your money every 10 years. That's the social proof. That's the proof that you need. And guess what? Here's the bottom line. Even if it didn't double, and we could just protect the last little bit of money that you have, because guess what? It's not being matched anymore. You don't have a company match, and you're not with the company stockbroker anymore. Do you really know your stockbroker? Some will say, oh, I've been with him for 30 years. Has he made you a millionaire yet? No. So you've had $200,000 with this guy for how long? Last thing you want to do is start cutting the stockbroker down, by the way. You know, you really don't want to do that. But for all you stockbrokers out there, listen, I'm not here to put stockbrokers down. What I am here to do is protect the client's money. So with no downside market potential is what you're to discuss with them. You will not have any market volatility. You will not participate in the downsides of the market. It's very important you get that embedded into your head as the sales rep. Lawrence, CDs. Yeah, there you go. CDs. Lawrence is thinking outside the box. See, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't mention these extras that people have, then you may not find the money. I call it find the money. Find the money. If you're not like Columbo and finding that money, you may lose, guys. So it's very important that you do this. Find the money. And don't stop after you've asked about savings account. Keep going. Because listen, people are tight with this stuff and they may not know what you're talking about yet. Remember, you're new at this, so the way you explain things might not be proper yet. So you got to make a list. Make a list of where annuity money can be found. Just make a list. Do not be lazy about this and keep it with you when you're in the house. All right, listen, I need you all to start asking me questions because I'm getting tired of coming up with amazing sales strategies for you. Right? So let's get some questions out there, man. What do we got? What are you running into? Let me ask you a question. If you are not making $10,000 a week, I want you to ask yourself why, and then I want you to ask me to give you an answer on how to make $10,000 in the next couple weeks. So if I take anyone and I said, what's your lead order consistently look like? What does it look like on a consistent basis? Because all of you have the upside potential of doing this. You guys all have the insurance face. You guys all have, what's the name of your YouTube channel? Does anybody have my YouTube channel? It's, shit, I don't, hold on a second, buddy. I'll get you that over. Anyway, look, let's get through a couple more things I'm going to talk to you about. If you're in this industry to make money, you're in this business to recruit new recruits, this is an easy way to get them trained up on in-home sales processes. There's a lot more training coming. I'm working on video series, things like that. But if you're in it for final expense, I want you to come to a realization that final expense can also be turned into mortgage protection too. So I don't want you to miss out on large numbers. What I'm trying to get you all to realize is that you, with value on your products and value to their money being spent, show them value and you will get larger number premium sales out of the deal. So if I show somebody that they can turn this final expense, or I find the need is that they have a mortgage and that they need to pay that mortgage too, plus they need to pay that final expense, and they need cash to survive on, that I invented the need. All right, I was there for this. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm here to cover your funeral final arrangements. It costs you $10,000. That's the sale. Goodbye. Walk out with a $30, $40, $50 check. That's the whole final expense sale, guys. But if you want bigger numbers, you want to get $200 a month out of people, you know, $100 a month. Now, listen, I know final expense demographics don't always offer this, but it is out there. And if you could teach, now you'd be surprised. You go into the hood sometimes, man. I've been in the houses where people are earning $12,000 a month through Social Security disability. The whole family's involved. I get the whole family to invest into one big policy. The individual's going to pass away. You guys want to bank on it or what? Take advantage of the situation. Everybody puts some nickels and dimes towards this. But I make sure that it comes out of the individual owner's policy first. As soon as their Social Security hits, my policy's pulled out. Very same day, very next day. It's the very first thing on the bill list. And you all need to make sure you're doing that. Do not allow these people to tell you when the bill's going to get paid. Tell them when it's getting paid. Give them the option if they need help. You can push these things 30 days out. You know that, right? But then it gives them time to think about it. All right? And then another rep can come in behind you. So it's kind of you got to be pretty good at showing value. You got to have the best product for the best price, for the best living benefits, for the best interest rates on their money, and you need to find a way to keep that stuff on the books. Do not get the money pulled. Why not? Just have it pulled. Say, Mrs. Jones, you're going to have it next week? What's the difference between 30 days from now and next week for $50? I mean, tell me, how badly do you want this? And here's the other thing. I don't want your health to change. You can use this as an excuse. If, God forbid, your health were to change, this all comes off the table. You know, this turns into this price, not this price. So I want you to get it for this price, not this price. So what we need to do is find the money real soon. Make sure. I'm going to call you next week and see if the money's deposited, right? We'll push this through next week. Just give me a voided check and we'll push it through next week. Is that fair enough? Okay, great. Get it through. Get them working with you, not against you. You guys, inside the house, you and the couple or the individual should become a team. And your partnership is this. Your partnership is to find the solutions to the needs that you have invented. Now, they have some kind of idea what that need is. What do we have to cover, guys? We got a funeral. But people that have funerals, that have final expense leads, final expense lead has a funeral, right? But do they have a mortgage too? They could, right? They have mortgage. They have car payment. They have kids. These kids want college. What part of the puzzle are you missing to get larger premiums? Look, you can get larger premiums. Let me tell you, if you can get $30 out of somebody, you can get 40. If you can get 40, you can get 50. If you can get 50, you can get 60. And 9 times out of 10, that's how it works, but you didn't show enough value. But that adds more money onto you. An extra $10 added to each premium times 10 is $100. 10 people, $10, 100. That's $1,200 extra in your pocket each week by just $10. All right? Remember that small number, big at the end, right? All right, so what else do we got? Where are we stuck at, man? You know? If you guys are going out this week, I highly recommend that you remember it's a holiday weekend. Take advantage of that day. Everyone's home. Call them, dial them, set the appointments. Get on the phone. They ask for this stuff. Don't be like, oh, I'm not going to call them on a holiday, Jay, you're nuts. Do you need the money or not, guys? What are you worried about? They're home. They answer the phone. It takes them 30 seconds to say yes or no for you to come there. It's not a big deal, man. Oh, I'm going to not bother them on their holidays. You're nuts, Jay. It's your holiday too, but you're spending the time to answer somebody that gave you information to contact them. They gave you information to contact them, and you're just doing your job. I don't know about you, but if you need money, man, you got to do it. You do it on Christmas Day for that matter. Doesn't matter. You just got to show yourself that you can push through these things that you're saying no to. And that's some of the reasons I make you do these things, is because I want you to push through the times where the other person doesn't go, you should go. Okay? The other sales rep doesn't go that route, that's the route you should go. because that's the interesting route. That's the route I'm taking. That's the road less traveled. That's why I make so much money, is because I go the routes that others don't. I make big sales because others won't push the envelope. If I lose a sale, no big deal. I know the next one makes up for more than most people make in a month. You know? And that's not to brag again, but that's to tell you you are doing this. You should be doing the same thing. $100 a month premium is what I want everybody after. That's your minimum when you're selling mortgage protection. From now on, that's your minimum. No more below this. This is your minimum. All right, top end, go to $2,000 a month. How do you get a $2,000 a month premium? Let me tell you how, and you'll run into this. There are going to be individuals that are stacking on top of their mortgage. That means that when they pay $2,000 a month on their mortgage, that there are literally individuals that pay an extra $2,000 a month to get the mortgage paid off faster. What you do is you show them how to use this $2,000 a month. Mr. Jones, if you were to die tomorrow, Mrs. Jones is less $2,000 on this mortgage, but she still owes the whole mortgage. I understand your concept, but here's how you get this paid off, plus leave her with wealth, and she'll never worry about money again. You get her an index universal life product. If they can't qualify for that, you get a multiple final expense policies. If they can't qualify for that, you get a multiple rated policies. All right? Use this $2,000 and blend it into multiple policies, or one big giant index universal life policy. Get the house paid off. Show them how it works. Show them the cash value at $2,000 a month. Hell, you'll make them a millionaire one day. That's a lot of money growing at that interest rate that they have. Got like 7% illustrated, 8% illustrated. They can only show that because those are numbers that they've done in the past. So remember, you're going to run into this. I hope it's next week. I hope you're prepared, because you can show somebody how to use. Let's say it's just $500. You're going to run into this a lot. In fact, now that I mention it, there's going to be people that have a $1,000 a month mortgage, and they're going to tell you this. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay the mortgage off early. I got it in 15 years. That's great and everything. What's your extra added? I'm going to pay an extra $500 a month on it. Wonderful. But you know what, Mr. Jones, I'm going to show you something. Don't tell him he's doing it wrong at all. Just show him this. Say, I want you to take a look at something. Here's the two options. Here's number 2. Here's number 1. This is your way, okay? I'm going to show you the way that people are doing it, just so you're aware of your options. I take this $500 and I get the whole house paid off for tomorrow. If, God forbid, you can't work anymore, this benefits you also. But it's earning 7% interest on the cash value also. So you're actually making money, not giving money away. Okay, when you pay your house off faster, sure, interest levels could go up, but they could also go down. With this one, it shows a better illustration on interest levels. So you got living benefits and somebody's getting paid. One way or the other, this is guaranteed to pay you. The housing market could go down tomorrow and you could lose your ass on this house. This you can't, because one way or the other, your wife is getting $500,000 or $1 million. Okay? So remember, when people are using extra money to fund their mortgages, guys, you need to take that money and turn it into mortgage protection. You understand that? Got it? Mm-hmm. All right. Any questions?
I got a scenario.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my brother-in-law, I was asking him about whether he had mortgage protection on his home, as I know he's been in there for 2 years. And he said he had something through the VA that would just pay the house off if he was to die.
Okay, this is great that you bring this up, because a lot of veterans believe that they have something that does this, okay? And they don't know what they have. I'm going to tell you, through experience, I've worked with a ton of vets, and I know what I know. If we don't look at what you're thinking about, now here's a question. What is it? What is it called? Ask him that. He doesn't know. So he can't tell you what it is because it's not true. What he's bullshitting you and convincing himself that he has something that's going to pay the house off. I hope he does. And it might be called life insurance through the Veterans Office. So he might have life insurance on. But if he can't pull up something tangible that you can hold in your hand, that says I will pay the house off, you can tell them this. There's only mortgage protection pays the house off, okay? This what I'm teaching you right here is the only way really to do this. The Veterans Office, they put money aside to pay your house off. I work with vets every week, bud. And all I want to show you is to make sure that you either have this or don't have this. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think you do. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if we catch it early, you'll be able to fix this problem, man. So let's take a look at this. Let's call the Veterans Office, contact the Veterans Office, administrative, whatever it may be, and find out what he has and what he doesn't have. Because if he can't show you proof, he doesn't have it. He's in make-believe land. A lot of people are like that too. They think they have something that they don't. I would bet my left arm he doesn't have anything, nothing. He has life insurance. They probably got him a veteran's mortgage. He may be confused on mortgage protection and mortgage protection, meaning that the mortgage, the insurance on a home, tractor trailer runs through the front door, it covers the house. With this, it's different. It's paying the house off. That's the difference. I would tell them that. Say the insurance you have is to protect the house. It's an insurance to cover the exterior, the house itself, if something goes wrong. But this is to pay the house off. I'm telling you right now, we need to take a look at this. I just ran into a vet last week, told me the same thing. We found out he didn't have anything in place. Sometimes you have to tell those little white lies to get people involved. And the shameful thing is it does help them. Because the only way they convince them is through, so you don't have enough experience in this yet. So you don't have enough social proof to where he can literally pick up the phone and contact somebody like another vet and tell them the same thing that I'm telling you to tell him. So he doesn't have it. You're going to hear that a lot, but especially from veterans. And all of you, bringing this up, you should learn what the Veterans Administrative gives to veterans. Really understand what they are offering, like the plaque and the flag. Oh, my burial's taken care of. Do you think they don't dig the hole for free?
Nope.
It's not taken care of, guys. So that's why veterans get life insurance. So why do I have so many veterans with life insurance if they would take care of everything? Did you do something special that they're going to give you a monument? And so all you're getting is this little plaque here, and you're going to get a flag. You're not even getting a flag. Your wife, their kids will get the flag. So I would go back to him and tell him, look, hey, I found out something interesting. Found out that a lot of veterans were told that they had mortgage protection and they don't. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to take a look at this like I did with the last client and just show him this. But also bring him in mind that if he's healthy, show him what his money does. If you knew how to run an index universal life, you run an illustration for this, well, you know that you'd be making him money. You know what I mean? Every time he puts money into it, growing it. Plus, he has the option to pay the mortgage off, or at least get his wife to sell the house. And you need to teach him about selling the house too, not paying the house off. How much is this house worth? 100 grand? You're telling me that this doesn't come out of pocket, 200,000, whatever it may be worth, doesn't matter. But the bottom line is that if he's not paying out of pocket for that product, it's not in place. They're not giving anybody nothing free. It's not, so it doesn't exist. You should say, how much a month do you pay for that? Next time you run into that, say, how much a month do you pay for that? Oh, no, there's no charge for that. They just gave you that. Understand this. So you're the only person on earth where if you die, they're going to pay the house off for free, right? Who does that? I'm going to sign up tomorrow. You know what I mean? So understand that that's all false advertising. People making stuff up in their brain. And that's why you have to be the pro and fix that for them, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Been a long haul, man. Yes, Lawrence, $100 a month minimum. Premium sales. Minimum. That's your challenge. How do you do it? You bring value. Bring value to the table, right? Always come to the table with value. Know your products and know what value they bring to their lives, okay? And understand all the twists and turns that could happen. You know, be inventive with your own mind and paint the picture. Anything could happen. One of us could die today. Anything's possible, but shoot for the long haul. Show them the pluses and the negatives of what they're in now. The negative side of where they're at now and what they're doing now is negative over here. Show them the positive side of what you have for the positive side of what will happen, because this negative situation can be a positive situation if you do it right. If you do it your way, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, this is what's going to happen. I've seen it time and time again. If you do it my way, you have a better shot. This is how much money you get. This is the way it'll work. And they get pretty amped up when I'm selling. You know, they're pretty inspired by this because the numbers. It's all a math problem, guys. It's just a big math problem at the end of the day. So mathematically, coach them up, all right? All right. That's it for today, guys. Well, unless you have any more questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Now with the mortgage protection, I'm learning something new every time. And I'm thinking it pays off the house when that person dies, or like you say, paying off the back end and giving the person time to sell, protect the equity and whatnot.
Yeah.
Would the lender be the beneficiary of that mortgage protection, or would it be the spouse?
It's when you're writing these products, just like life insurance, it is life insurance. Just remember that. So it's just a life insurance policy. It's just labeled under a mortgage protection lead resource. So when you're writing the product up, you're putting the beneficiary down. So no, the lender is not the beneficiary unless they want them to be. They get to choose who the beneficiary is. So it is all it is, you know how final expense covers funerals? Mortgage protection covers the house. So it's either pays the whole funeral off or pays some of it, or pays the whole house off or pays some of the house off. That's the only two differences. Funerals and mortgage protection are the same. It's just two separate products. Two different scenarios we're covered. We cover the funeral, the casket, the urn. We're covering the front door, the windows, the house, the lawn. The sale of the home is for the equity built up inside over the years that they've lived in it. When you're paying your mortgage, $1,000 a month, you know, you're building equity up. So no, you put the beneficiary in. That's the answer.
Okay. So when she gets that lump sum or whatever it's going to be, she has the choice of paying the rest of the house off, or
that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Now I got it.
Your wife or significant other or kids, they receive this money. They have the option what to do with this money now. Now, you as their leader, you should tell them, have your kids or wife contact me and we'll show them what to do. If it's a large sum of money, the reason I do that is because if it's a large sum of money, I'm going to teach them how to index annuitize this money, and I'm going to show them how to get more life insurance on each other. Now they're real big believers. So it's another sale coming up, but I want to show them how to fund the house. All you're doing is making this money work until you make a decision. Are you paying off the house, or are you selling the house? So inside the home, everybody on Facebook and this webinar understand that you are there to 9 times out of 10 help the individual sell the home. You're buying them time. What does BAM FAM mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Lawrence Holloway? What does BAM FAM mean? I have no idea what that means.
Sounds like something from the Flintstones.
Equity in the home to put into an Lawrence Kohler, somebody's asking me this on Facebook. Do you ever use equity in the home to put into annuities? Do I ever use the equity? If Lawrence D. Kohler, if they get equity from the home, somebody passes away and somebody receives the equity in the house, then yes, I can turn that into an annuity. I can't turn the equity in the home into an annuity while they're making payments on the house. So that doesn't work that way. I already know why, and it's leads in my case. Yes, Robert Weathers, you're right. You have to get your lead resources up. But you have to work what you can, which is the older resources. I've seen that term in a lot, but never understood it. I don't know what BAM FAM means. You guys will have to Google that. I don't know what that means. But Robert, you'll have to find a way to get cheaper leads to get your business started. Go for the $3 leads. I got B leads. Go for the B leads. I didn't get where I am by doing. I was all about B leads. Alyssa and I ran B leads for 2 years straight. 4-year-old leads. I'm getting for 25 cents a pop. And I'm down. Oh, we're just dialing hell out of them. You know what we became good at, though? We became good on the phones. We We did it weekly. Like nothing else got into our way. Nothing got in the way of what we were doing. You know what I mean? Not kids, not anything. That time was set aside, and we let everybody know it was for our business. Do not bother us at this time. It's for our business. I'm taking this for real, and I'm going to give it a year, and I'm going to make sure that I grow. While you're still doing your JOB, I'm going to be growing a business here, okay? So get an attitude of a lion, man, and go after it. You just need to find resources. Go get a credit card. Go ask parents for money. Go do something. Get a loan. I don't know, but people, go get the money. Find it somehow and invest it into the B leads, not the A leads. Find the B leads or a mix of both. But like I said, I'm sorry that you don't have resources, but if I can do it, a lot of people can do it, you know, you can do it too. Some people may want to find a career that has free leads, but I tell you, those never work. I always get people that leave and because they want to go get free leads and they think it's all about the leads when they still stuck inside the house anyway. They're no good. They're not getting trained. They don't understand the stuff. And long story short, we have to blend the both together. And you can sell life insurance. You're not going to have a problem as long as you keep studying. Like those questions you asked me, you know now. You know that it's a beneficiary that can. You know that they can take the money and do whatever they want. But if I were you, I would stick to final expense for a minute and not be so mortgage protectioned out on this. I would just stick with final expense only. Sell final expense until you get money in your pocket and then go move on to mortgage protection. Do not try to jump into mortgage protection. Now remember, you can sell mortgage protection on final expense when you're inside the house. You can turn it into that kind of sale. So that's all the time I have, guys. It's been an hour and a half. I got to roll. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all next week. And actually, I got one on Monday coming too. So I'll see you all on Monday, okay? Thank you all for coming.